This next topic I have been looking forward to talking about all week long. It's the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Bay to take on the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 9 points. It's an 8:15 p.m. kickoff Saturday night in Santa Clara. The over-under for this matchup is 50.5. This is the 10th meeting between the Packers and the 49ers in the postseason. 49ers are 5-4 against the Packers in the playoffs. And in the last 5 matchups, the 49ers have unfortunately gotten the best of the Packers. This goes back to 2013. This was in San Francisco. The 49ers beat the Packers 45-31. That was the Colin Kaepernick game where he had over 200 rushing yards, and he had the game of his life against the Packers defense. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then in 2014, the exact next year, the 49ers beat the Packers again. This time it was in Lambeau. I remember watching this game like it was yesterday. The 49ers beat the Packers 23-20. That was the year when Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone. He comes back for the season finale against the Bears, throws the game-winning touchdown to Randall Cobb, only to wet the bed in the wild card round of the playoffs to yet again the San Francisco 49ers. And then in the 2020 playoffs in the NFC Championship game, the 49ers beat the Packers again 37-20. This time, Jimmy G only had 8 passing attempts, and somehow the 49ers blew the Packers off the field and advanced to the Super Bowl. But that year, I didn't really have high expectations. I thought we had overachieved getting to that point. And then the one that hurt the most, the one that really made me start to feel like it was time for Aaron Rodgers to go, was January 22nd, 2022, at Lambeau Field. Packers were the favorites. They had a bye on Wild Card weekend this particular year in the playoffs. And the 49ers, in this same round, the 49ers beat the Packers again 13-10. The last time the Packers beat the 49ers in the playoffs was January 13th, 2002. The Packers beat the 49ers 25-15. So Brett Favre had a lot of success against the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers, not so much. And the 49ers alone are the reason why Aaron Rodgers never got back to a second Super Bowl in his career. But the time has come now where the Green Bay Packers, yet again, for a second consecutive week, the Packers are playing with house money. And similar to last week when they went up against the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, like the Cowboys, have all the pressure. And the Green Bay Packers are playing with house money. They're playing with house money. And similar to C.J. Stroud, my quarterback, Jordan Love, has been balling. Last week against the Cowboys, Jordan Love, he goes 16 of 21. He threw for 272 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and he was balling at a very, very high level. And he's had a great second half of the season. But he isn't alone, and I'm going to get to Jordan Love in a second. But overall, the Green Bay Packers as a football team has been great in the second half of the season. The Green Bay Packers, since week 11, they are 7-2. That's tied for 3rd in the NFL. They are averaging 28 points per game. That's ranked 4th in the NFL. They are averaging 388 yards per game. That's ranked 3rd in the NFL. They are averaging 262 passing yards per game. That's ranked 4th in the NFL. And their rushing yards per game have also went up since week 11. They are ranked 10th in the NFL, averaging 125 rushing yards per game. And in the red zone, they score on 61% of their possessions. That's tied for 10th in the NFL. So the Green Bay Packers as an overall football team have been balling in the second half of the season. But As great as Lamar Jackson has been this season, as great as Brock Purdy has been this season, as great as Dak Prescott has been this season, no quarterback in the NFL is playing at a higher level than none other than Jordan Love. Jordan Love has been balling in the second half of the season, folks. Let's compare Jordan Love's numbers before the Packers bye in week 6 compared to after the bye and what his numbers have been. Before the bye, Jordan Love, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He completed 56% of his passes. His passer rating was 77.3. This is before the bye in week 6. After the bye, Jordan Love, 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's completing 68% of his passes. His passer rating is 106.4. And not only has Jordan Love been playing great at a high level in the second half of the season, I want to take everyone back to the first half of the season. We were hearing rumors out of Green Bay about how Matt LaFleur was frustrated with Jordan Love. Brian Gutekunst, the general manager for the Packers, he even went on record and said when they asked him about whether or not Jordan Love was going to be the future franchise quarterback for the Packers moving forward, Brian Gutekunst said these last 10 games are going to be important for Jordan Love and the future of him being the quarterback moving forward. Not only has Jordan Love answered the call, Jordan Love has emerged as a top 10 quarterback heading into the 2024 season. No matter what happens in this matchup against the 49ers, the Green Bay Packers have found Love in Green Bay, and they have hit a home run on their third consecutive franchise quarterback. From Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, the Packers now have a future franchise quarterback for the next 15 years in Green Bay. He has been balling, and he was by far the best quarterback on the field Sunday afternoon in Dallas. Don't tell me Dak Prescott is better than Jordan Love. Don't tell me Tua Tagovailoa is better than Jordan Love. Don't tell me Jared Goff is better than Jordan Love. Don't tell me Brock Purdy is better than Jordan Love. And this is the reason why I feel like we got a chance. Now, real quick, I want to compare Jordan Love's numbers this year compared to Aaron Rodgers' numbers last season. Last season, Aaron Rodgers, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He averaged 217 passing yards per game, completing 65% of his passes. His passer rating was 91.1. His record was 8-9. Let's look at Jordan Love's numbers in the regular season. 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 246 passing yards. He's completing 65% of his passes, passer rating 98.5, record 10-8. Now, he actually finished the season with 32 touchdown passes. Actually, that was including the playoffs. But remember, last year, Rodgers couldn't even lead the Packers to the playoffs. I bring up those statistics to say that not only has Jordan Love had a better first year as a starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers than Aaron Rodgers had, Jordan Love, he's an upgrade over Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. Jordan Love, I'm going to say it again. Jordan Love is an upgrade over Aaron Rodgers, considering Aaron Rodgers' age at this point in his career. I'm not saying Jordan Love is going to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying Jordan Love is going to have a better career than Aaron Rodgers, but he already has surpassed Aaron Rodgers from the standpoint of the Packers have upgraded at the quarterback position, and Jordan Love did something Aaron Rodgers could not do last year, and that's get the Packers to the playoffs and win a playoff game. That performance against the Cowboys, it's the best performance from a quarterback from the Green Bay Packers in the last 7 years. Yes, that's how great Jordan Love was. But he ain't alone. When you look at this Packers offense, obviously they are led by Jordan Love, but at receiver, the Packers got dogs. At receiver, you got Christian Watson. You got Romeo Doubs, who had over 150 receiver yards against the Cowboys. Okay, you got Jaden Reed as well. You got Malik Heath, Bo Melton at receiver. They also got great tight ends as well. Luke Musgrave, okay, Tucker Kraft. The Packers' skill positions are the best in the NFL from a depth standpoint. Like Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, they're not as good as Tyreek Hill or Jaden Waddle. They're not as good as A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. They're not as good as Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. But as far as depth, I don't think there's another team in the NFL that has more depth than the Packers have at the skill positions. And they're all young. They are young. Christian Watson, 24. Jaden Reed, 23. Luke Musgrave, 23. Tucker Kraft, 23. Romeo Doubs, 23. Dontavian Wicks, 22. I didn't even mention him. Dontavian Wicks had a touchdown reception against the Cowboys. The Packers are loaded. They're loaded. But that offensive line, they have also been great for the Packers. Josh Myers, John Runyon, Zach Tom, okay, Elton Jenkins, Rasheed Walker. They've done a tremendous job protecting Jordan Love. They've done a great job. Now, that 49ers defense, they are elite. You look at the 49ers defensively, obviously, that defensive line for the 49ers is the best in the NFL. And they had the audacity to trade for Chase Young earlier in the season. And when they traded for Chase Young, I said, what the hell is going on? Like, you already got Armstead, you already got Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, and you got the nerve to add Chase Young? So on the defensive line, as pass rushers, they got Nick Bosa, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. They got Arik Armstead. They got Chase Young, and they got Javon Hargrave. But at linebacker, they got two of the best linebackers in the NFL in Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Now, Greenlaw is questionable for this game, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. But Fred Warner is arguably the best middle linebacker in the NFL. And then in the secondary, they got all-pro cornerback Tardarius Ward, okay? And on the other side, they got Lanier as well. This 49ers defense, they are top 5 in a lot of major defensive categories. They give up 322 total yards per game. That's ranked 7th in the NFL. They only give up 90 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 3rd in the NFL. They only give up 18 points per game. That's ranked 3rd in the NFL. And teams only throw for 214 passing yards per game against this 49ers defense. That's ranked 14th. So 49ers defense, they are elite. But I do expect Jordan Love to have some success against that 49ers defense. And in order for the Packers to have any chance at being able to win this football game, they got to establish a running game with Aaron Jones again, the same way they did against the Cowboys. Aaron Jones, over the last 4 weeks, in games the Packers had to have to win, Aaron Jones had over 100 yards rushing in each of those games. Dating back to the game against the Carolina Panthers. He's healthy. Packers are going to need him to pull off the upset. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the 49ers offense versus the Packers defense. The 49ers are led by Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 4,280 passing yards. He's completing 69% of his passes. Obviously, Brock Purdy is having an MVP season. I don't believe Brock Purdy deserves to win NFL MVP because I don't even feel like Brock Purdy is the most valuable player on his offense. But Brock Purdy is having a great season. And to me, what makes the 49ers even more dangerous this season compared to the past, Brock Purdy is an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. So remember in years past when the 49ers would come up short in the playoffs, it was because Jimmy Garoppolo was their quarterback. And they don't have a quarterback issue anymore. Brock Purdy can definitely perform at a high level and help the 49ers in the playoffs. Again, when I look at the 49ers' most important pieces to their success, I think about Kyle Shanahan, And then offensively, Christian McCaffrey is more valuable than Brock Purdy. Deebo Samuel is more valuable than Brock Purdy. George Kittle is more valuable than Brock Purdy. All-pro left tackle Trent Williams is more valuable than Brock Purdy. But that doesn't mean that Brock Purdy is not an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo, because he clearly is. And the 49ers can win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy as their quarterback. They can. But the way Christian McCaffrey is playing this year, it's been nothing short of sensational. Christian McCaffrey has had a phenomenal season, folks. And he's leading the team in rushing yards. He's averaging 5.4 rushing yards per game. 1,459 rushing yards for the season on 272 carries, 14 touchdowns. He has been balling. He's been balling, and he's been arguably the MVP of their team. He's been balling. But the 49ers got so much depth. So much depth. At receiver, you got Deebo Samuel. You got Brandon Ayuk. Okay, you got Jawan Jennings as well. And at tight end, they got a top 5 tight end in George Kittle in the NFL. They got one of the best O-lines in the NFL as well. They are loaded offensively. But the key to being able to contain the 49ers, you have to make Brock Purdy play from behind. This is Brock Purdy this season when the 49ers are leading or tied compared to when they are trailing. When they are leading or tied, Brock Purdy has 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. When they are trailing, only 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. When the 49ers are leading or tied, he's completing 71% of his passes. When they are trailing, he's completing only 64% of his passes. When they are leading or tied, Brock Purdy's passer rating is 123.5. When they are trailing, it's 82.4. So you have to basically try and build a lead against the 49ers and force Brock Purdy and the Niners to have to play from behind. That's what the Ravens did in their matchup in week 16 on Christmas. At half, the Ravens were beating the 49ers 16-12, and heading into the fourth quarter, the Ravens were up 33-12 on the 49ers. You have to force the 49ers not to play from behind, and that's where you can force Brock Purdy into some mistakes. Now, defensively for the Packers have not been great this year defensively. As a matter of fact, they've been average, and that's been the weakest part of their football team. Defensively, they give up 128 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 28th in the NFL. So in order to be able to stop the 49ers, you have to stop the run, number one. You got to contain Christian McCaffrey, and the Packers have struggled with that this year. They give up 352 total yards per game. That's ranked 17th in the NFL. So the Packers defense is going to be the key for them to pull off an upset. You got to create some turnovers to have a chance. Now, defensively, you got Kenny Clark up front. Okay? You got Devontae Wyatt as well on that D-line. You got Preston Smith as a pass rusher. You got Rashawn Gary as well. Okay? At linebacker, you got Devondre Campbell. You got Quay Walker. And they are going to be key X factors in this game because the 49ers have George Kittle. So Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell have to contain George Kittle. Okay? In that secondary, you still got Jair Alexander, who's questionable, but hopefully he can go. You got Darnell Savage, who had a pick 6 against the Cowboys. And you got Carrington Valentine on the other side at DB as well. So it's going to be important for Joe Barry and this Packers defense to try and contain the 49ers, and that would give the Packers a chance. I'll be honest. I got 2 scores. My football mind and my Wise Guy Sports Trey Larkins analyst says 49ers 31, Packers 24. But the Packer fan in me, knowing that we are playing with house money, with absolutely nothing to lose, has the Packers beating the 49ers 31-28. So I got 2 scores, and I am going to roll with both of my scores. I'm not going to pick against my Packers, but I'm also not going to say we're for sure going to win. So I got 2 scores, and I ain't ashamed of it. I don't give a damn what y'all got to say. On the sports analyst in me is saying 49ers 31, Packers 24. The Packer fan in me is saying Packers 31, 49ers 28. That's what I got. But I got a big go, pack, go. And hopefully we can roll into San Francisco and get a dub in the biggest game of the season. The biggest game of the season. So I'm hoping my Packers can get it done. And hopefully it can definitely happen. Hey, throw me that cheese head over there. Throw me that cheese. I need that real quick. Throw me that cheese head. Let's go. Hey, go, pack, go. Again, the sports analyst, Niners 31, Packers 24. The Packer fan in me ain't betting against my boys. Packers 31, 49ers 28. Go, pack, go.